Hey internets, it's Jake, and welcome to Mini Terrain Domain. Today, I'm going to show you all of this. First up, we've got these custom Tentacle Monster things that I created after watching, or rather seeing a photo that DM Scotty had posted on Facebook. I did my quick take on it and made 4 of them for an encounter that I had coming up. This mini here will show you the scale of these things. These tentacles rose up out of the water on a passageway during an encounter that the PCs also ran into this water elemental that I'll detail in a moment. The build on this was actually not too hard. It's pretty much just a fender washer, which has attached to it a twisted paper towel and white PVA glue, and then it's all strengthened with hot glue and attached to the base. I used a lot of hot glue on this, strengthening it, and then along the bottom to kind of simulate the water, coloring it with shades of purple and then doing the water in shades of blue, stippling it with white, and the whole thing is hit up with a coat of water-based polyurethane gloss to give it that shiny, wet, gross look. Now this guy here is my custom water elemental. He was actually a repurposed Mage Knight figure. I bought a bunch of them off of eBay. Really all I did was take him off his base, put him on a new base, hit him with some real blue, some bright blue, some light blue, and some of that water-based polyurethane. It's the same as what I did on the base of the tentacles there. Give him that glossy, wet look. The PCs had no question that this guy was a water elemental, regardless of what he may or may not look like. Using the exact same figures, and for a later encounter, I just used a different color scheme with yellows, oranges, and reds, and created fire elementals. Exactly the same thing, water-based water-based polyurethane to give it that glossy, shiny look. Not so much for the wetness, but for the brightness. And here's the scale next to these to the mini here. While we're talking about this mini, this is a custom kit-bashed Mage Knight figure. I took the sickle and hand off of a skeleton. I took the quiver off of a weird 6-legged tauntaun creature. And then the bow and hand is off of another figure. Glued them all together and put them on this base that I flocked with some lichens and green stuff, and it's just a piece of dowel that I cut. This guy was my dollar store conversion. It was actually pretty quick and easy. I bought a Mike Wazowski from the dollar store. First thing I had to do was clip off his arms and legs so that he was just his floating head. Then using air dry clay, I sculpted a brow piece to give him that menacing look. The tongue and the eye stalks are sculpted out of air dry clay as well. Everything's glued in with hot glue, and all the texturing is hot glue. And you can see here that it's got a little bit of flexibility, but this thing's pretty sturdy. I mean, I wouldn't throw it at the floor or anything, and that tongue would probably be the first thing to fall out. But and you can see I still got some work to do on the base there. And here's his big brother. The spectator is the little guy, the beholder is the big guy. Same concept, except this was made with air dry clay and hot glue on a skull that I then sculpted the eye stalks, the eyeballs, the jaws, the teeth are toothpicks, the brow. Everything here is air dry clay and hot glue and painting. And then the base is made of pink polystyrene foam that I carved. Thing is solid, heavy piece. And there we have the mini again for scale. The holder is a large monstrosity or aberration or whatever. Next up is one of my plastic skeleton conversions. This was actually the second mini I'd ever painted. The base is a piece of bark on wood, some lichens. Basically, I just took it off of its old base and painted it up. This was the first one. I didn't prime it properly, so the paint's peeling off in places, but this is pretty much starting with a dark layer and dry brushing out in lighter layers. Here you can see what the original looks like. In the not too distant future on Mini Terrain Domain, I will be showing you how to convert these skeletons into minis like this. I'll show you what I did to remove the base, create a new base, and my painting techniques. Many of you will recognize this next thing as a DM Scotty creation, and the first thing that I ever built, the giant purple worm. This behemoth, believe it or not, is made primarily from toilet paper tubes, paper towel, and hot glue. There's an air dry clay mouth with long toothpick teeth, made shiny with the water-based polyurethane. Wrapped the whole thing with wet paper towel, strengthened PVA glue. The segments are all hot glue all the way around to strengthen it and give it weight. I used a template to cut out the body armor plates, strengthened and textured with hot glue, and then made the base that's wet toilet paper and PVA glue and sand and rocks. And this monster is just amazing. If you want to know how to build it, I'll provide a link to DM Scotty's page. Here you can see how the beholder stacks up against the giant purple worm, or perhaps a fire elemental. Might get him a little bit of heartburn. And of course, our unfortunate female monk is about to get eaten raw. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. Remember, imagine, build, play. MTD.